Fly this plane and I'll marry you. Millionaire mock black cleaner. Her secret shocked him. The gleaming sun reflected off the polished hangar doors of Sterling Aero, the private aviation company that had become the pride of young CEO Brandon Whitman. Brandon, a 32-year-old heir to a long line of aviation moguls, was used to having his ego stroked by investors, clients, and employees alike. But that morning, a minor loss in a private wager with his associates had bruised his pride. He needed someone to mock. "Hey, girl," Brandon shouted, his voice echoing in the cavernous hangar. He pointed at a woman wiping down the cockpit of one of Sterling Aero's jets. "Come over here." The woman didn't flinch. She kept her posture straight, the muscles in her back trained to hold dignity, as much as she had been trained to work. Her name was Aisha Bennett, 33, a single mother in a quiet storm of competence disguised in a uniform of gray overalls. For the past 3 years, she had been cleaning the offices, jets, and maintenance rooms at Sterling Aero. "Yes, Mr. Whitman," she said politely, her tone measured, betraying none of the simmering fire beneath her calm exterior. Brandon smirked and gestured to his friends, a cluster of wealthy investors and corporate partners. "We were just discussing natural talent in aviation. Tell me, Aisha, have you ever flown a plane?" Aisha's lips curved in the faintest smile. "Once, sir," she said, leaving the rest unsaid. She had flown hundreds of missions in military aircraft during her 12 years in the Air Force. F-16s, C-130s, helicopters. But this was not the time to reveal her past. Brandon laughed, the sound harsh and condescending. "Perfect. I'll make you a deal. Fly this jet to Phoenix and back without killing us, and let's see, I'll marry you." The other men burst into laughter. The image of a cleaning lady piloting a $25 million jet was a height of absurdity to them. Aisha lowered her eyes, pretending to consider his offer. Then she looked up, her eyes calm, sharp, and unafraid. "I accept," she said simply. "When do we leave?" The laughter stopped. Brandon blinked several times, trying to process what he had just heard. "Wait, you mean it? You accept?" "Yes, Mr. Whitman," she replied, her voice steady. "I'll fly the jet. Just tell me when." For the first time that morning, Brandon hesitated. There was something in her calm demeanor that made his arrogance falter. Aisha had been underestimated by men like him before, but she carried herself as if she knew a secret too powerful to reveal until the right moment. "Fine," Brandon said, trying to regain control. "My friends will watch from the VIP box while you, try not to crash the plane." Aisha nodded, her mind already running through pre-flight protocols. Her daughter, Maya, was only 9, and every penny of her modest income went toward the expensive medications that kept her asthma under control. Losing this job was not an option, but she would not let her daughter see fear in her voice. As they walked toward the jet, Aisha's gaze swept over the aircraft. Registration number N512 Sterling. The cockpit layout was almost identical to the fighter jets she had commanded in the military. Every switch, every lever, every system spoke a language she knew by heart. She felt the familiar hum of adrenaline, not fear, coursing through her veins. Brandon's friend, Marcus Lang, whispered, loud enough for her to hear, "I bet $50,000 she can't even start the engines." "Maybe she can't even drive a car." Another laughed. Aisha ignored them. She climbed the steps into the cockpit, like a veteran returning home. Once inside, she felt the rhythm of the machine as if it were part of her own body. The pre-flight checklist flowed from her lips like a mantra. Hydraulic pressure, fuel levels, electrical systems, engine temperature. Dallas Tower. This is Sierra Juliet 512. Requesting clearance for takeoff to Phoenix. Planned route via Victor 12. Cruising altitude 33,000 feet, she said calmly into radio. A murmur ran through the hangar. Tom Reynolds, the lead mechanic and former Navy pilot, stepped back, astonished. She's not just speaking aviation lingo. She's executing it with military precision. Nobody's luck is this consistent. Brandon laughed nervously. "She's just bluffing, Tom. She's a cleaning lady, not a pilot." Aisha initiated the engine sequence. The turboprops roared to life with flawless synchronization, vibrating through the hangar. The jet was alive under her touch. She taxied down the runway with surgical precision. Every movement was smooth, confident, professional. "Stop recording." Brandon shouted at his phone, but it was too late. The cameras had already caught every second. "Tower. Sierra Juliet 512 ready for tactical takeoff," she said, adding terminology Brandon had no idea existed. What did she just say? Brandon stammered. "That's exclusive military protocol," Tom whispered. "Only trained pilots use that terminology. She's a former combat pilot." Brandon's face turned pale. Impossible. The jet lifted off the ground like a bird released from a cage. Aisha maneuvered with grace, performing subtle acrobatics that sent the audience gasping. Loops, sharp turns, climbs, and descents. Every move calculated, precise, flawless. The $25 million aircraft became an extension of her body. Brandon's laughter had vanished, replaced by an icy realization of his mistake. The hangar filled with employees, mechanics, and engineers who had stopped what they were doing to witness the spectacle. Among them was Lila Chun, a young aerospace engineer, who discreetly sent a text to Aisha's emergency contact. The reply confirmed what they suspected. Captain Aisha Bennett, decorated Air Force pilot, 3 combat tours, multiple commendations. By the time the jet returned 45 minutes later, every spectator had been silenced by awe. Aisha landed with absolute precision, the jet gliding across the tarmac like it was a feather. She stepped out of the cockpit, radiating the authority and dignity that had defined her military career. "Mr. Whitman," she said, stopping directly in front of Brandon, who now looked small and insignificant in comparison. "Flight completed successfully. All systems normal. Any comments?" Brandon opened his mouth, but nothing came out. Around him, employees whispered and filmed the moment. Social media notifications exploded within minutes. The video of Brandon's arrogance and Aisha's brilliance spread like wildfire. Comments poured in from veterans, civil rights advocates, and aviation enthusiasts. The hashtag Respect Captain Bennett trended globally. By morning, Sterling Aero was reeling. Major clients canceled contracts. Investors demanded emergency board meetings. And Brandon faced a backlash he had never imagined. Patricia Green, chair of the board, didn't mince words. "Brandon, your behavior has caused $20 million in immediate losses. Social media backlash, canceled contracts, and reputational damage are mounting. We will convene to discuss your removal from the CEO position." Meanwhile, Aisha received calls and offers. Apex Aviation, Sterling Aero's main competitor, offered her the role of Director of Special Operations and Training. Salary $350,000 per year, comprehensive health coverage for her and Maya, and an educational fund for her daughter. 3 weeks later, Aisha Bennett became the first black woman to hold an executive position at Apex Aviation. At her first press conference, broadcast live, she spoke with clarity, dignity, and humility. "For 2 years, I pushed a mop to support my daughter after leaving a 12-year military career," she said, voice strong. "I am not ashamed of honest work. What matters is competence, character, and perseverance. These qualities do not depend on color, gender, or social class." A reporter asked about Brandon Whitman. Aisha smiled, calm and composed. "He gave me an opportunity to remember who I really am. He intended to humiliate me, but he ended up liberating me." Brandon, stripped of the presidency and humiliated publicly, could only watch as Aisha rose higher than he ever could. Apex Aviation thrived under her leadership, prioritizing merit, equality, and opportunity. Veterans and minorities received training and positions they had never had access to. In interviews 6 months later, Aisha reflected on her journey. "The best revenge isn't to destroy those who hurt you. It's to build something greater than they could ever imagine. Adversity is fuel. Prejudice is motivation. Humiliation can be transformed into strength." Her daughter Maya, now healthy and thriving, became a minor celebrity at school. "My mom taught me to judge people by their character, not their job," she said in a viral presentation. Aisha's legacy became a case study in business schools across the country, demonstrating the power of resilience, skill, and dignity. And for her, the true victory was personal. watching her daughter grow in a world where competence, honor, and hard work always triumph over arrogance and prejudice. Her closing advice in lectures and speeches became iconic. Never underestimate the person who cleans the floors you walk on. She may just be the one to teach you what greatness really looks like.